Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam, sir. How are you?
I'm well, alhamdulillah. How are you?
I'm good. Good. Alhamdulillah.
Very good. Very good. Hey, Rayan.
Assalamualaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Furqan is gonna come in just 1 minute. Maybe go out.
Not a problem. No
I'll
problem.
call him.
Okie doke. All right. So how are you, young man?
Good.
Good. Good. How is school?
Good.
All right. You learning anything new that you want to share with me?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
We learned about protractors.
Oh, and math.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was easy.
Really?
Yeah.
You must be a really smart guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I learned it before they teach me it.
Really?
Yeah.
Had you been studying it, or you were just able to get it quick like that?
I saved it.
All right. Hey, Furkan. Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
How are you?
Good.
I see you're in the captain's chair this week, huh?
Yeah.
That's the captain. That's the co-pilot is next to you. He was the pilot last week. You're the pilot this week. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And how was your day in school?
Good.
Yeah. And what did you learn? Your brother said he learned about protractors.
I learned about multiplication and division.
Say that one more time slower.
I learned about multiplication and division.
Multiple case. That's big. That's a big subject, man. Did you understand it?
Yeah.
Can you explain it to me?
I forgot how to explain, but no.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you to do that next week after you spend this next week coming up memorizing it, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I got two smart young men here. Okay, this is all right. Okay. So I'm going to go to one of our pages. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on the pages because I want to talk more to you today.
Okay.
All right. But this is your page. The Khan family learns NuNETICS. Can you see that on your screen?
Yeah.
Am I spelling your names correctly?
Yes. Yeah. But
Okay.
mine has only one A.
1A, that's what I was thinking. Okay. And Rayon, yours has 2 A's, right?
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Very good. And you're here today with, who's this guy right here?
Benjamin. You.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Who are these children? I've never met them. Who are they?
I don't know.
Well, give them names. Give them names. Who is this little boy here? Give him a name.
Ahmed.
Ahmed. Very good. Okay. And who's this young lady in the middle?
I don't know.
Just give her any name.
I don't know any names.
You don't know any girls' names at all. You've never met any girls. You don't have girl cousins. You don't have aunties with names. You don't have, give me one girl's name, any girl.
I don't know any.
You're playing with me. You're just shy. Okay. What about you, Rayon?
That could be Sarah.
Yeah. Good. So we have Ahmed over here. In the middle, we have Sarah. And who's this one over here? What's her name? Rayon, you're good with this. You give me another name.
Okay. Anna.
Anna. All right. Ahmed.
Yeah.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Anna.
Yes.
All right. You get the prize today. Very good. All right. So we talked about Aleph Beit last week. Do you remember that lesson?
Yeah.
Okay. And we said that Aleph means strength and that Beit means what?
That means in house.
Yeah. And that's the name for father, Abu.
Father.
Yeah. Aleph Beit. A, B. Very good. And then we gave you the word for mother. What?
Aleph, meme, and meme is me.
Yeah, that's right. And Aleph means strong,
Yeah.
and meme means water. But two memes means strong water, and we call strong water glue.
Yeah.
So name means strong glue. So why do we call her strong glue?
Because it's glue, it's sticky.
Yeah. So how is your mother like strong glue?
I don't know. My mom doesn't use glue too much.
Okay, now it doesn't have to be real glue. Now we're talking something like a little bit higher than physical glue. But what do you do with glue? Just think about what you do with glue.
You could do projects. She
Yeah,
makes the stick together.
there you go. Go ahead, Furkan. How do you stick together? How do you and your brother stick together? What do y'all do together?
By playing games, board games and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What else?
And iPad.
iPad, okay.
Yeah.
What else do you do? Do you study homework together?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. That's a way of sticking together. When your mom goes to the store, does she take you with her shopping?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sometimes, yeah, not all of the time, but
Yeah.
sometimes.
Mostly my dad is the one that goes shopping.
Okay. Yeah. That's how I was when my children were your ages. I was the main one to go shopping, right? What about, do you have like family reunions or anything like that? Like once a year, a picnic or family reunion or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you see your cousins and your aunties, uncles, and that kind of stuff. So you stick together as a family, right?
Yeah. We see our cousins every other week.
Oh, wow. That's great. We do that here also. One of our daughters, her and her children come over every Thursday evening for dinner. Every single week they come over and we love it because they have a new baby in their family.
We
It's like,
have sleepovers as well.
do you?
Yeah.
That's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it's fun. I used to do that when I was your age. I did that all the way into my teenage years. I had sleepovers. We used to build our own tent in the living room. You know how we used to do that?
How?
We would take our kitchen chairs and we'd put them in the living room, and we would put one chair on one end, and then we put another chair on the other end. And then if it was summertime, especially, and it was hot, we would tie a sheet, like a bed sheet.
That's what we do.
Yeah, we tie one end to one chair, and then we have it tied to the other chair, and then we put little fans beneath the tent so that we can stay cool all night long. We had fun, sleepovers.
Yeah.
So how do you do yours?
So we do the same plan.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right. So we got a whole lot in common, right?
Yeah. My mom
All right.
is the one who told us how to make them.
Who told you?
My mom.
Your mom taught you how to make a tent?
Yeah.
Yeah, because mothers used to be in charge of the tent a few thousand years ago. They were in charge of making sure the tent stayed
Stable.
stable. Yeah, that's the best word. That's the best word. That it stayed stable. Okay. So let's say the tent, for some reason, a hole was put in the tent and the rain started coming through the hole. And you know how, you might get a tear in your shirt or something and your mother has to stitch it, right?
Yeah.
Well, a long time ago, when people were living in tents, right? And if the tent would tear, then it was the mother's job to bring that strong water that we're calling glue and glue that tent back together. I think I told you how they used to do that. Do you remember what I told you?
Yeah.
What did I say?
You said they make the chairs together.
You said make Oh, no, 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 not for my tent when I was little. I'm talking about how I might not have told you this, but I'm going to tell you now. So listen, okay?
Okay.
All right. What the mothers used to do hundreds of years ago when they lived in tents, okay?
Okay.
And if she saw a little hole coming into the tent, what she would do is she would go by the ocean or by the lake, and she'd take a big pot with her and she would fill the pot with water from the ocean or from the river, right?
Okay.
Then she would go back to her tent and she would make a fire out of wood, and then she would put the pot on top of the fire until the water got really, really hot. Now, the water that's at the front of the ocean would have like a glue, like a gluey kind of thing on top of the water. So when she would boil the water, that gluey type thing became real sticky. That's why we're saying glue. And then she would use that glue to begin to patch up the hole so that the rain couldn't come through anymore. So that was her job, to make sure that everything that was tearing apart, that she would glue it back together. So because that was her job, people also began to say, well, she's doing that for the tent, but she's also doing that for the family. Because when the brothers and sisters begin to argue with each other, she's the one that steps in and says, no, you can't do that here. We're one family. We can't be arguing with each other and threatening each other and all of that. Talk nice to your brother, right?
Yeah.
Talk nice to your sister, right? Especially if they're smaller than you. So
Yeah.
it's the mother mostly who's the one that's keeping the family glued together. You see how I'm using it now?
Yeah.
All right. Can you explain that to me? What I just explained to you?
So like for the glue, like when you said they glue the family together, that means like they wanna stick as a family, so like they stay together. All.
Perfect. You explained that very well. Very well. That's perfect.
Thank you.
Furkan, you want to say something else?
Um, so the mom's the one that makes us stick together when we're mad or not being together.
Mm-hmm. What happens when they don't stay together?
Then the family won't watch how it used to be.
That's right. And it's bad. It's bad when families don't stay together, right? Especially if you're brothers and sisters. You're supposed to love each other and stay together, right?
Yeah.
All right. So now let's look at the next word. The next word is going to be the word for brother and sister. You ready for this?
Yes.
All right. Now you're going to have maybe a word or two here that you don't know, that you've never seen before. I'll explain it to you, okay?
Okay.
All right. Whenever you see a word that you don't know, all you have to do is ask somebody, what does this mean? Or what does this say? Or how do I pronounce this? Okay.
Okay.
So the next letter that we're going to learn in Arabic is this letter. Do you know how to say that already?
Ka.
Yeah. Ah,
Ka.
let me hear it again from both of you.
Ka.
Say it again.
Ka.
Yeah, because your last name starts like that. It has that letter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to learn what this letter Ra means. Rayon, can you read this? What does it mean?
To disable.
Good, good. Have you ever heard that word before? Disable?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what it means?
Like for example, like if somebody asks you to do something, like then you can't do it, then you say it's disable.
Okay, that's close.
Yeah.
Let me give you a better meaning, okay? Let's say you were in your car. Let's say you were able to drive, right? You have your driver's license, you got your car, right?
Yeah.
And then you get in the car and you find out that somebody was messing with your engine. Right? Because you need your engine to drive, right?
Yeah.
I don't care how pretty your car is. If the engine is not working, you're not going anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So they lifted up your hood while you were in the supermarket and they took out their tools and they took your battery. Let's say they took your car battery. That's a bad thing to do, right? They ran off with your car battery,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Then they put the hood back down. You come out the store. You don't know what happened. You get in the car, you take your key out, you put it in the ignition, and you turn the key and you don't hear anything.
Yeah.
What,
Usually when you turn on the key, it makes a sound.
what kind of sound?
It makes like a kind of like a beep.
Well, let me hear you do it. Put the key in the ignition. Pretend like you're putting the key in the ignition.
Okay.
Now turn it. Now, what sound does that make?
I don't know.
And you know something? I keep forgetting I'm talking to a new generation, and the new generation doesn't even have a key. They don't, you don't have these kind of keys where you put it in the ignition anymore. You have these fancy cars now where you just get in and it's connected to, some device that you're, or whatever. And you press a button and then it just goes, like you said, beep, right? And then the
Yeah.
car is on. But see, that's new. That's not how cars were when I was your age. When I was your age, we needed a key. We put it in the lock, the ignition, and then we turn it and it go like a motorcycle, right?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. So you wouldn't know that if you have one of those newer cars. In any case, when they removed the battery from that person's car, they disabled the car. That means the car was not able. That's what disable means, to not be able to do something. Can you read that next line? And that will explain it to you.
Okay. To stop someone or something from doing a thing. Example.
Right. Right. Then we'll give some examples. So whatever you stop somebody from doing that they wanted to do or that they could have done, you've disabled them.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's give some examples. This is the word for brother. It's called achi. Can you say that?
Achi.
Yeah. And this is the word for sister. Ukhti. Can you say that?
Ochti.
All right. So achi means my brother. So who would you be talking to when you say achi?
My brother.
Where is he?
Right here.
Oh, of course. Furkan. Okay, now Furkan, if you say achi, say it.
Achi.
Who would you be talking to?
My brother over here.
There you go. Now, if you said ukhti, do you have any sisters?
No. No.
Okay, but if you had a sister and you said ukhti, who would you be talking to?
Our sister. Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so both of these words for my brother and my sister, the word is ach. Say that.
Ach.
That's brother. Let me hear both of you say it one at a time. Furkan, you say it first. Ach.
Ach.
Well, that's a good ach there. All right. All right, now you, Rayon.
Ach.
Oh, that's another good ach. Yeah. Okay. Then say uch.
Och.
Good. And now you, Furkan.
Oh.
Oh man, y'all are so good at this. Maybe I don't need to, maybe we should just finish here because I don't know if I can teach you anything else. You're so good. You're already. What do you think? You think I should keep going?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll keep going. Okay. So Aleph, you already know, means strong. Remember we learned that?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. but you didn't learn the meaning for ha.
Yeah.
Ha means to disable.
Yeah.
Okay, so Aleph ha gives us the word ach. Say it after me. Aleph ha
Aleph Ka.
gives us the name ach.
My brother.
Yeah. My brother is ahi. If you add that E sound at the end, then that means my. So my brother, ahi, my brother. He belongs to me. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And means
Sister
right. And ukhti.
means my sister.
And who does she belong to?
My cousin.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying because you don't have a sister yet, right? Or I understand what you're saying. Yeah, she belongs to your uncle or pardon me, yeah, to your cousin. If your cousin has brothers and sisters also. Very good.
My cousin has one sister.
Okay. So wherever you find somebody's sister, she's gonna be ahi. And pardon me, she's gonna be ukhti for them.
Okay.
And you'll be ahi for each other, and for other people who have brothers, that will be their ahi. Okay.
Okay.
Now, English is the same way. I'm going to show you something, right? I told you that the E sound means my, right?
Yeah.
Ahi means my brother. Ukhti means my sister. But what about in English? We have the word mom, oops, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But what if I said mommy? What does that mean?
My mom.
Yeah. Bravo. And you have the word dad, right?
Yeah.
But what if I said daddy?
My dad.
Yeah. You see how that goes? You can teach that to your friends. They won't know that.
Also in mommy, it says my at the end.
Yes, it does. How about that? How about that? That's right.
Yeah.
All right. That's a good observation. All right. So I'm gonna leave the page and come back to you guys.
Okay.
Right? Now, before this year is over, what month is this now?
This is May. And
Okay. How many more months do we have before the end of the year?
we have
Count them. You want to start from January? Let's see where we are. Okay.
okay.
January.
February, March, April, May.
Okay. So we're on the 5th month now, right?
Yeah, so 7.
Okay. All right. Let's see how many more we got. Okay. May. What's the next one?
June, July, August, September, October, November, December.
Okay. So you gave me the right answer. You said 7, right?
Yeah, because 5 plus 7 equals 12, and 12 months make a year.
You're a smart young man. Both of you, very smart young men. That's excellent. Okay. So before this year is over, I'm going to teach you so many letters. I'm going to teach you letters not only in Arabic, but I'm also going to teach you the meanings of letters in English. Do you know your English alphabet?
Yeah,
Do you know how many alphabet are in the English
26.
language?
26.
26. Do you know all of them?
Yes. It's A to Z. Yes.
Protocan, how old are you?
8.
You're only 8. You can't possibly know all of the alphabet in English. Not all of them. Not from A to Z. Really?
I do.
All right. All right. Rayon, let's listen to your brother. Let's give him a chance to see if he knows all 26 of these letters, okay? All right. We're listening.
Do I sing the ABC song?
You can do it. Yeah, you can give it to me any way you want.
The first one's A, the second B, and the third one is C, the next one's D, and the other one. I'll just sing the alphabet.
Sing the alphabet. I'm waiting to hear you sing.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z.
Now, your young brother just did all 26 of his English alphabet. Rayon, do you really think you can match that?
Yeah.
Now, do you have to sing it as a song, or can you tell it to me without?
Without singing?
Can you do it?
Yes. A,
Remember now, remember now, if people in YouTube land, they're watching you. You sure you can do this?
yeah.
Go.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z.
That's amazing. That's amazing. All right.
When I was younger, I used to know the Arabic letters, but I was so young that I couldn't remember them.
But that's okay. That's why you're in my class. You're going to relearn those letters. Okay.
I was like, maybe I was 6 years old when I learned them, but now I forgot them because it's hard to remember for lots of years.
Yeah. And you're still young, but don't worry about that because, like I said, between now and the end of the year, you're going to learn all of those letters back all over again. Plus the meanings of those English letters that you just gave me. They have meanings. Did you know that they have meanings just like the Arabic letters have meanings?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what do you think the English letter A means? The capital English letter A. Look at the picture in your mind. As a matter of fact, I'll put it on a piece of paper.
Apple?
Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me do it for you like this. You see that A right there?
Yeah.
Let me make it big. What do you think that letter? What does it look like?
It looks like a house roof.
Good. That's how the top of a house is shaped, right? In many places like that. Very good. Very good. What else do you think that could be?
That sometimes it could probably look like a bird.
Good. A bird when it's flapping, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you turn that A upside down, what do you think it might look like?
That would be a V.
Yeah. With a little line in the middle, right?
Yeah.
What animal do you think that might look like if you turned it upside down?
It will look like a moose,
Yeah. Or I'm going to tell you what they were thinking about. They were thinking that it looked like, do you know what that is?
ox.
Yeah. Do you know what an ox is?
Yes.
What?
It's like it has horns.
Yes. And these would be the horns, right? If you turned it upside down, right?
Yeah.
And then it has like a thin chin where the mouth is. So if you turn this upside down, I'll try to remember to bring a picture of it next week for you. But if you turn this upside down, then it's going to be an ox.
Okay.
Okay. So now why do you think our capital English letter A? Why do you think it came from the word ox or the animal called the ox? Do you know anything about the ox and what it does?
The ox, it like it may attack, like if someone attacks them.
What does the ox do? Most animals are going to try to defend themselves if they're attacked.
Yeah.
But what does the ox do like all of the time? Like, you know, a cow gives milk, right?
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. But what does an ox do?
I don't know.
Okay, that's fair. What about you, Furkan?
I don't tell.
You don't know?
Yeah.
You do know?
Do not.
You do not know.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to tell you what an ox does. You ready for this?
Okay.
The ox is the number one animal in the field as a worker in the field. It works in the field. Do you know how the ox does his work?
He digs.
Tell me more.
He digs deep so he can make a hole.
Uh-huh. And what does he do with the hole, or what does the farmer do with the hole that the ox digs?
He can make plants like the seeds.
Yeah. Oh, y'all are so smart. A minute ago, you didn't know what an ox does. How did you, what happened? What happened? Hocus pocus, poof. How did that get in your brain that quick like that?
I just learned that fast.
Yeah, you were thinking. That's what happened. You were thinking, and Allah gave you the answer. See, that's great. Okay, so the ox, this is what Furkan told me. He said that the ox digs, and then the farmer comes behind the ox, and the farmer begins to put seeds in the hole. Right? This is what Rayon came behind you, Furkan, and he said the farmer puts seeds in the hole. Now, what happens after you put the seeds inside the hole? What does the farmer do? Does he just leave the hole open like that?
No, he has to put like the water and sun and the dirt and the seed.
There you go. Then what happens in a couple of seasons?
Yeah, it grows.
It grows what?
Grows a tree or like or food. Plant.
Yeah, mostly food, right?
Yeah.
If it grows an apple tree, that's good too, right?
Yeah.
So the ox is the animal that they use for that, because the ox is one of the strongest animals in the field.
So the ox helps the farmer?
Yeah, yes, indeed. The ox helps the farmer. But guess what else? And I want you to remember this for next week without me writing it down.
Okay.
The ox is the strongest animal in the field. Both of you repeat that one by one, starting with you, Rayon.
Okay. Ox is the strongest animal in the field.
That's right. Now you, Furkan.
The ox is the strongest one in the field.
That's right. Now, here's the reason why he's strong. Not because he could go and beat up other animals. No. He was strong because he had to pull things. He had to pull whatever they were using to plant the seeds, right? Whatever they were using to make the hole in the soil so that the farmer could plant the seeds, the animal used to pull that thing. It was a big old contraption and it was heavy, but the ox is so strong that it was able to pull that machine behind his back so that the farmer could come and drop his seeds in the hole. You see how that goes?
Yeah.
Now, there was one other big reason why they used to use the ox. And that's because you can tie the ox to a younger ox. In other words, let's say this is the daddy ox, right?
Yeah.
And then they would tie it through a yoke. They called it Y-O-K-E. Can you say that? Yoke?
Yoke.
Yeah. They would tie a yoke from the big ox daddy to a smaller ox son. An ox is always a male, never a female. There's no such thing as a female ox. You got that?
Yeah, because man is stronger than woman.
That's correct, most of the time. All right. So when they would tie or yoke the big daddy ox to the smaller son ox, that means that everywhere the daddy went, because they were yoked, that means that the younger son, he had to go too. If the younger son says, I'm tired, I don't want to go anymore, but the daddy said, we're going to keep walking, because they were yoked, the younger one, he'd still have to go. So the older daddy ox was teaching the younger son ox how to plow the field, how to make those holes so that the farmer could put the seeds in them. The older ox was teaching the younger ox. Was the younger ox teaching the older ox?
No.
What was going on there? Who was teaching who?
So the big ox, the daddy ox, was teaching the son.
Yes. Yes. All right. You guys are just so smart. It's amazing. It's amazing. Your answers are amazing. I got to tell you that. All right. So the letter A came from the ox, and the ox was strong. So that's how the letter A came to mean strong also. Remember what we said about Aleph?
Yeah.
Well, that's the Arabic letter A. And what does Aleph mean?
Strong.
Right?
Yeah.
Can you do like that? What about you, Furkan? Right?
So it can look like a spine.
Like a what?
The spine.
A spy?
No, spine, like in your
Oh,
back.
the spine. Yeah, yeah, you remembered that, right? For Aleph. Yeah. Yeah. All right. And you had to have a very strong spine to pull that weight behind you, too. The animal had to have a very strong spine. So you see how all of these A's are actually saying the same thing?
Yeah.
It's talking about being strong, right?
Yeah.
And the letter A is the first letter in the alphabet, right?
Yeah.
In English. What about in Arabic? Is the letter Aleph the first letter?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you say?
Yeah.
Furkan? Yeah. So the first thing is the leading thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the letter A and the letter Aleph both mean leader.
Leader.
The first ones to do something. That's the leader.
Okay.
Okay. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Can you explain it back to me?
So the Aleph is like a leader for all the other letters.
Yeah.
So the one is Aleph is the leader, and the other 25 letters will be the
The followers.
yeah, follow.
You put that together. That's nice. And that's exactly right. The other letters can't go anywhere until Aleph shows up. The other letters, they can't do anything until they don't even exist until the A shows up. You can't start the song by saying B, C, D, E, F, G. You messed the whole song up, right?
Mhm.
You got to start with what letter?
A
A
and Aleph.
and Aleph. That's right. And the farmer can't grow his plants until the ox shows up. You see that?
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm gonna teach you something that's kind of strange, but I think you're going to enjoy this. You ready?
Okay.
All right, say the word ox.
Ox.
Now say the word ask.
Ask.
Say the word ox.
Ox.
Now say the word ask.
Ask.
You too, Furkan. Say the word ox.
Ox.
Now say the word ask.
Ask.
You see, they sound a little bit alike. Like if I ask you a question, right?
Yeah.
Ask ox.
Yeah.
All right. Now, why am I saying this? Let me explain it this way. You listening, both of you?
Yeah.
Okay. If I ask you a question, what am I looking for?
You're asking the answer. Like you're looking for the answer to the question you asked.
That's right. And a good leader learns to ask questions. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Why does a good leader learn to ask questions? Why is it important to ask questions if you're going to be a good leader?
Because you want to know everything, so then you could teach the other person that's trying to learn properly.
There you go. Like the daddy is teaching the younger ox, right?
Yeah.
That's right. That's a perfect answer. So when you think about ox, I also want you to think about the word ask. And you ask questions because you want to learn what you don't already know so that you don't have to make unnecessary mistakes, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's going to make mistakes, but sometimes you don't have to make mistakes if somebody taught you how to what it is or what the answer was. Then you say, okay, I know that. I don't have to bump into that wall. I don't have to make that mistake. Okay.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to ask you a strange question now. You ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Rayon, you don't remember when Furkan was a newborn baby, do you?
I know a little bit.
Just a little bit, right? Maybe
Yeah.
when he was 2 and 3, you started to know, oh, I have a little brother here, right? But not when he was born.
Yeah. I was born when I was 2 years old.
Yeah, there you go. Now I'm going to ask you another strange question. Are we ready? When you were born, and I'm talking to both of you now, how much did you know when you were born?
How much?
Yeah.
No,
Did you know how to do math?
no, you don't know nothing because you were just born.
That's right. So
Yeah.
when you don't know nothing, what do you do once you learn to talk?
When you learn to talk,
Yeah, and you don't know nothing. So what's the first thing you're going to have to do?
you have to ask lots of questions.
There goes that word ask again. So asking can make you smart. When you ask questions, it doesn't mean you're dumb.
Yeah.
It means you're smart and you want to know more, right?
Yes.
All right. You getting this, Furkan?
Yeah.
All right. So Allah created our brains so that we would have to ask questions once we learned how to talk, how to speak. So that's why children like you and younger than you especially, they always tap in their mommy or their daddy. Daddy, why is the sun hot? Daddy, why is the snow cold? Yeah, we're asking all kinds of questions, right? Why is that up and this is down and whatever? And why is the bear big and why is the ant small? And so we got a whole lot of questions when we're born. After we're born and we learn to talk, right?
Yeah.
What other kinds of questions would you think to ask?
I would ask about I would ask like a question about where are we?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, tell me what you mean by that. Where are we?
Like for example, when you were born, you're born in a house. Um, then you don't know what a house is, so you ask
Ah,
what is this place?
okay. Okay. Do you know that that's your mother after you're born? Did you ever have to ask your mother, who are you?
No,
No. You never had to ask your dad,
yeah,
hey, I've been seeing you quite a few years now, but who are you? No. So the things that you see over and over again, you don't really have a whole lot of questions about who that is, right? But things that are new or people that come over who you've never seen before, then you might have to ask, Mommy, who is that? Oh, that's Uncle, right?
yeah,
It's the new people and the new places that you go. If you go to a new store that they just built and you know you've never been there before, then you ask the question, what store is this? But if you go to the store you've been going to since you've been born, you won't think to ask, what is this? You're used to that, right?
yeah,
It's just the new thing. So you know what? It's important to continue to learn new things. Don't just be satisfied with what you already have learned.
yeah, and also if if you don't cry, that means something happened to you. Like if you cry, that means the baby is good, and if he doesn't cry, something bad's happening.
Ah, so you're talking medical now. Yeah. If a baby is born and the baby just kind of sits there like this, something's wrong
Yeah,
because they say the baby is supposed to cry.
yeah,
Do you know what crying does?
yeah.
What does the crying do when the baby cries when it's first born?
It makes you have tears, and sometimes you could cry very loud. Babies cry very loud,
Mm-hmm.
and when you cry, sometimes if you cry too much, you could hurt your eyes.
Mm, mm, mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay, but let me tell you what it does. Okay. In a newborn baby, when the baby cries, it activates the lungs, the baby's little lungs.
yeah,
All right. Before that, the baby was kind of breathing through his mother when he was in her belly.
yeah,
You know that cord? There's a cord that connects the baby to the mother.
yeah.
It's called an umbilical cord. Can you say that? Umbilical?
Umbilical,
Umbilical.
umbilical,
Say it for Khan.
um,
Umbilical.
umbilical,
Say it one more time. Like umbilical. Umbilical.
umbilical.
There you go. You see, you almost see the word in that word, right? Umbilical cord, right? So the baby is actually breathing through that cord. So mother is breathing for the baby while the baby is inside her belly. But when the baby is delivered, now the baby has to breathe on his own, right?
Yeah,
So when he comes out into this place, this atmosphere, something happens that activates his lungs to make the lungs now be the ones to breathe for him on his own without mother breathing for him. So when the lungs are activated by this outside air, the baby takes that breath in, and then the lung and a whole lot of things begin to happen, like one after another, the lungs and the heartbeat, and then the this and then the baby never saw all of this. So can you imagine seeing all of this like for the first time? You come out and big people's faces are in your face, right? You got the doctor, he's over there with a little mask on, and the nurses handing little scissors and all kinds of stuff. And you don't know what's going on, right?
Yeah.
That would make you cry. All of this new stuff and these new people and these new sights that it was dark inside your mother when you were growing, right? When
Yeah.
she was pregnant with you, it was dark in there. You come out here now, they got big lights flashing on you in your eyes, you can't take it all. Well, what is all of it? And the baby just, the lungs get activated and the baby starts breathing on his own after that. See how Allah did that?
Yeah.
That's
What?
why you they want for you to cry.
And if the baby inside the mother, they can't see them inside.
That's right.
It feels like it's been like 1 second, then you're born. It doesn't even feel like it took years, but it feels like it took like 0 and 1 second.
Wow. That's how it feels, right?
And it's just like the speed of light. It takes 0 and 1 second to flash.
Wow. Where did you learn that?
I don't know.
That's good. That's good to know.
I learned the speed of light in books.
In books. Okay. All right. So that's pretty fast, the speed of light.
Yeah.
So that means if I turn on the lamp in my room, that means it's so fast that I can't really tell how fast that light actually came on between the time I just flipped the switch or turned the knob, and all of a sudden, poof, and the light is here. That's fast.
Yeah.
You know anybody that can run that fast?
No.
Do you know anybody who can talk that fast?
No.
Do you know anybody who can walk that fast?
No. No.
Do you know anybody who can think that fast?
No.
Huh?
Yeah.
Who?
Your brain.
Who?
Your brain.
Your brain, yeah. Your brain can think that fast. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Your brain can think in milliseconds, very, very fast. It thinks so fast that Allah puts something else in the brain to stop it from saying everything that it's thinking as soon as it thinks it. Can you explain that to me? Do you say everything that comes to your brain when you think it?
No, I don't know.
Why not?
Because I don't know.
Yeah, just keep thinking about it. You'll get it. How come we don't say everything that we're thinking as soon as it comes to our brain?
Because like the mouth part, I don't think it's connected to your brain.
Explain that.
Because like your mouth is right here.
Yeah.
Your brain is like over here.
Mm-hmm.
Plus the brain's inside you, and the mouth, the lips is outside.
Nice connection there. I like the way you think. So there's a little time in between the time the brain gets the idea or the thought and between when you say what's on your mind, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Very interesting. Now, I have to write that down. That was very interesting what you just said. I have to write that down. I'm going to tell that to my other students, the grown-ups that I teach. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, because that's how Allah teaches us. When we pay attention to how Allah created us, that's how Allah teaches us, by just paying attention to the things that He put around us and to the things that He put in us.
Yeah.
All right? So that was a great, great thing you just said. Okay.
Okay.
But now what if I see somebody? What if I'm walking down the street, going to the store or whatever, going to the park to play or whatever, and I see a person who is very, very like overweight, right?
Yeah.
And what if the first thought, that lightning strike thought in my brain said, they need to stop eating so much. That's why they're so fat. Now, what if I said that to that woman or that man who was overweight because it just came to my mind? Let's say I started saying everything that just comes to my mind anytime it comes to my mind. Do you think I'd be in trouble for doing that? Hmm?
Yes.
For the count, what did you say?
Yes.
Why would I be in trouble for saying everything that comes to my mind right away?
You might say something bad to someone.
Yeah. Give me another example of how you could say something bad to somebody. You don't even know them, but some bad thing comes to your mind when you see that person.
So, for example, if you think of something you don't even know that's mean, so you just go up to them to say it when you don't even know it's mean, and you think you're just talking to them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's not good.
Sometimes you could hurt people's feelings, and
Yeah.
they will get upset. Then then you probably ruin their day,
Yeah.
and they could,
Sometimes people could say something to you that could ruin your life.
yeah,
Like you'll never forget that they hurt your feelings that bad. And
yeah,
you just feel so bad about yourself after that. Because that person who might be very, very overweight, there might be a good reason why they are weighing as much as they weigh. It might not be all of their fault. Matter of fact, let's say you saw a person who was 300 pounds. That's kind of big, okay?
yeah,
And you said something very nasty like that. You need to go on a diet. You need to lose some weight. Who's going to want you? And you're all big, like, oh, nobody's going to want to marry you. You start saying this and you don't even know this person. But what if you found out that this person used to be close to 500 pounds and they had already lost close to 200 pounds on their way down to losing another 100 pounds? So they were doing something good for themselves, but because you came along and just decided to blob out and blurt out whatever was on your mind, now you made them feel depressed again. And you did a very, very bad thing. You actually did an evil thing.
yeah,
Okay. So we can't just go around saying to our friends or saying to our family things that are bad just because they come to our minds and we're having a bad day. So since I'm having a bad day, I want you to have a bad day too. That's not good, is it?
no. Yeah.
You want to say anything else about that?
Also, like sometimes if you do something really bad, some people like they call the police sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Because people do things because they thought about doing it.
Yeah.
Now, what is it in your brain that is supposed to stop you from doing something bad?
Your mouth.
Yeah, before it gets out, right?
Yeah.
But what about your heart?
Your
What
heart.
about your feelings?
You have to you have to think about how will it feel if someone says it to you.
Oh, nice. What if your brother's going to do something that oh boy, he's going to be in trouble with dad now if he does that thing right there? If he keeps talking like he talked to his teacher when I heard him, when I walked in his classroom, oh, he's going to be in trouble. would you try to stop your brother from getting in trouble?
Yeah.
What about you, Furkan? If you saw your brother on the street getting ready to do something that's a no-no, that you know he's not supposed to do, would you try to stop your brother from doing it? Say it again.
I would.
You would, yeah. Now let me go back to your notes for 1 minute just to wrap up this lesson, and then we're through for the day. Look at this word again. Remember what we said about
Yeah.
the word for brother?
Yeah.
Aleph Kha.
Yeah.
Remember we said Aleph means strong.
Yeah.
And remember we said Kha means to disable.
Yeah.
So the word for brother means strong disabler. But who is he disabling? He's disabling his brother or sister from doing bad things. See, when your brother is younger than you or your sister is younger than you, and you're the older one, just like Rayon is the older one.
Yeah.
All right. When Furkan was smaller than he is now, he might have been doing a lot of things that could have got him in trouble. You know, he's trying to pull the tablecloth off the table or whatever. And weren't you the one to say, no, 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 don't do that?
Yeah.
You were his disabler. You were his strong disabler. That's what ahi or ach means. Strong disabler, the one who stops you from doing the wrong thing. You got that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the same thing for the sister. She's ukh or ukhti. My sister, she's older than me. And when I was little and I didn't know everything I was supposed to be doing and all of that, and she knew I was going to get in trouble if I kept doing what I was doing, my sister sometimes would grab my arm and say, you can't do that. Don't do that. Mommy's going to get you for doing that. You're going to get a spanking for doing that. Right?
Yeah.
So my sister was my ukhti. She was my strong disabler. Now, if you're walking down the street and somebody's trying to mess with your brother, some stranger, some bully on the street, or some bully in the school that thinks that because he's a little taller than you, he can just push you around and tell you what to do and that kind of thing. Well, your older brother, if he's with you, he's going to step in there and say, you can't do that to my brother. Right? So you're going to disable that person from being able to bully your brother or cause some kind of harm or pain or hurt to your brother. You don't want anybody putting their hands on your brother. You don't want anybody putting their hands on your parents. Right? So you are a strong disabler in your house. Allah created you like that. Do you know that even a little baby, like 2 years old, if he sees something or sees somebody trying to do something wrong to his mother, say in the grocery store or something, and somebody starts arguing or yelling at his mother, do you know that even that little 2-year-old, that 3-year-old will try to defend his mother?
Yeah.
He wrap his arms around her leg and start crying and looking at the person like, get away from her, right? Yeah, because he's a disabler. He wants to make it so that that person is not able to do any harm. And that's what the letter Kha means.
Yeah. Also, the 2-year-old, they can make the older person in trouble because then the owner of Target or something, like any store, they would get the one that was yelling in trouble.
Yeah. Yep. That is correct. Okay. So I think our time is up. And ask your dad, am I with him tonight? Is he doing a session tonight?
Right.
Hey. All right.
All right. Say Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum. Good being with you. I enjoyed that. All right. Smart boys. I'm telling you. Woo. I love them. It's great,
Yeah,
great,
thank
great.
you. Thank you.
All
So,
right.
brother, I'll see you on 29th. I'm just trying
Yeah.
to get some more
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
gathering around all
Get into the
yeah,
books, get your
yeah,
questions, all of that, And if
yeah.
you have questions before that time, just text them to me or email them to me.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
I will.
especially if it's something that you need. I need to go research something or especially if there are certain words or ayat from the Quran that you want to discuss. Because especially if it's from the Quran, I want to make sure that I have some real details.
Right. If you have just 1 minute, I have actually
Yeah, have
one
all the minutes
question.
you want. Sure.
Okay. So there is one word, sir, uh, that is from Surat al-Fil.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Alam tara kaifa fala rabbuka bi ashabil fil alam yajal kaidahum fi tazlil wa arsala alaihim tayran ababil tarmihim bi hijaratin min sijil fajalahum kasfin makul. So sijil, the word sijil,
Mm-hmm.
how you term it as or how you explain it as under the concept of NuNETICS?
Yeah, that's a good question. Now, many words in Arabic are combination words. In fact, this is a little known secret I'm about to share with you. Every word in Arabic that's more than 2 root letters, meaning 3 root letters and more. Most of them, as you know, are 3, trilateral, triconsonantal, whatever they call them, right? If it's more than 2, it's a combination word, a combination of words.
Okay.
All right. Now, all right. So if I said, if I gave the word Baqarah, for instance, it's going to be Bait or Ba, Qaf, but it's also going to be Qaf Ra.
And it's a three-letter word
Yes, but you use that middle letter for both words
to join them together and
to join them together. So it's the same thing with Sijil. It's going to be Sin, Jim, Jim, Lam,
okay.
minus the vowels. Now, here's where this becomes tricky and sticky, because all of those combinations of consonants, those double letters, are not, as far as you're concerned, they're not words, not all of them. Like Bait Qaf is not a word. Can you think of any word in the Quran that's just Bait Qaf?
No, not that I know.
No, there are none. Because the original way that Arabic was figured out was the original way that Hebrew and Syriac and all of those languages from that part of the world were figured out. They were figured out based on the meanings of the individual letters, not as they were grouped as biconsonantal or triconsonantal words. So that right there means that you have to know the meanings of the individual letters.
Right.
Now, give you another hint before we go into the meanings of things. The words in the Arabic language that are the oldest words, now this is my hypothesis, the ones that are the oldest words are related to things that are the closest to us. Now, we just got finished discussing 3 of those words. One was Ab, and it's only 2 letters, Alif, Bait. It's only 2 letters, Alif, Mim, just double the meme. The word for brother, Akh, Alif, Kha. You see what I mean? Sister, Alif, Kha. House, that's the first thing you're introduced to. Bait, Ta. Don't worry about the vowel in between. Okay. So this is how language began in those parts of the world. They began as utterances. This is the growth of language in humans, period. They begin as utterances. Oh, ooh, ooh, ah, ah. Babies do exactly the same. The way Allah brings the infant here is exactly the way humanity has progressed for millions of years. They begin with utterances, just like babies. They have these one sounds, these one kind of da or ah, or the cry. When they come here, they cry, but it's really just one sound, ah. They just elongate it, ah, and then they get a breath, and they start crying again. But it's just one sound until they begin to listen to the people in their environment and they hear the mother say, mama, say mama. The baby will start by saying, ma, just one sound. Da, one sound. Ka, one sound. And then they begin to double up on those sounds. So then ma becomes ma, ma. I'm going to break it down to you a little bit more understandably. When the baby is born and the mother takes that newborn infant into her arms and begins to suckle that newborn infant from her breast, it's because the baby is crying out for milk or for sustenance. The baby is hungry. So the baby has to first open his mouth. That's ah, the ah sound, the open a, ah. Fatha, ah. When the baby gets to where it can wrap its lips around her nipple, then that ah becomes the sucking sound. That's the letter meme, that's the M. So it goes from the ah sound, which is aleph. When it gets to the breast, it becomes the sound. Ah, that's where the word comes from, mother. See, this is not guesswork on the part of ancient people. This is actually scientific investigation and observation of their fitra, of the things in their environment that was speaking to them. So how often would you hear a mother suckle a child and not have that exact same sound, no matter whether that child is born in China, India, Africa, Europe, doesn't matter. That infant follows that same exact fitra blueprint, that pattern. When it cries, when it's born, it's the same cry, whether it's in a land that speaks Kiswahili or Mandarin, doesn't matter. That baby is born into the fitra, like the Prophet taught. Every child is born ala fitra. And it's the environment, beginning with its parents, that turn it into something different than the fitra, okay? So that sound that produces these ancient words for mother is the open mouth sound that clamps down onto the breast so that the suction of that baby on its mother's nipple produces the sound. And even in English, they had a Campbell soup commercial that said good. So everybody knows that means this is good. Right? That's what they say.
Right.
Boy, that turkey was good this Thanksgiving. It's in our fitra. No matter what the human, wherever he's from, she's from, doesn't matter. It's the same sound. So I'm saying that so that you'll approach the learning of Quranic words in a totally new and fascinating way. It's not just saying because some ancient fella said that this word means this that you find in the dictionary. The first question that I had was, what made it so? Why should I accept that as the definitive meaning for that word? How did they know that? Where did they learn that? See, now they teach us with these trilateral root words, and we just accept that amana means to have faith, or somebody had faith, right? But how did they know that? How come kataba doesn't mean he had faith? Why does kataba mean book and amana mean faith? Who decided that and when? See, that was the quest that I went forward with. And that's what gave birth to NuNETICS. That kind of questioning, not being satisfied because somebody said it's supposed to be this way or we're supposed to think this way. I said to myself, I was going to do an investigation as to where all of that began. And I traced it back to the fitrah. Pronunciation is born out of the fitrah. See? So once you have established what each one of those letters mean, and you can verify this even from other languages that already know what each one of their letters mean. It's just the Muslims that have lost, they've lost the connection between what letters mean, and they have been satisfied just to accept what root words mean. So that means you'll always be in obedience, actually, to the scholars who just kind of tell you what it means, and you're supposed to accept it because they said it, and that's not always so. How do you know it means that? What is it about those individual letters that are making amana mean faith, fataha, to open? Why does it mean that? See, that's the question, and it's a simple question that a grade schooler would know to ask. Say, why does those three letters, why do those two letters, those three letters mean this word? Then you start doing a comparative analysis, as I did, of other words that share those consonants.
So the approach that I understood is, if, for instance, if I need to understand just the meaning of sijil, so I'll pick the meaning of the first letter seen, jim,
Yes.
connect them together, and then see what the meanings comes out.
That's
and then
correct.
the second root word, sorry, the second from jim to lam, connect them together, get the meanings, and then join both the meanings from different root words to make one larger message, or
a composite. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one exception though, and that is the words that end with the il sound, like Jibrail, Sijil, Mikael, right? Those are different because that E sound, that EL sound at the end, in all ancient cultures, it meant God. But not God as Allah. It meant God as forces in nature.
Il.
Yeah. Yeah. In English, it just translated, in English and in Hebrew, it just translated into EL, like Elohim, plural gods.
Malaika.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So when you understand that, then you'll understand that it's actually talking about powers and the forces within nature. It's not talking about Allah, or else all the angels would be Allah that have EL at the end of them, or EEL at the end of them. They're not partners. That would be shirk.
Right.
So it's not talking about them being partners with Allah because they have EL, Mikael, and Jibrael. No, that's not what it's talking about. It's talking about them representing forces and powers within the fitrah, within nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the same thing for the Hebrew language. They have a word that they use as God called Elohim. And him in Hebrew is the same as in Arabic, the plural for hum. See? Him, Hebrew, hum, Arabic, it's plural. So Elohim means many gods. So how is that monotheism? They can't explain it through that logic. They'd have to come to the conclusion that El does not mean God, the source creator.
Right. Okay.
It means El like in electricity. It's a force in nature. See?
Yeah.
So
yeah. If I remember, I think one of your L represents learning too, right?
Yes.
Right.
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah. L represents teaching and learning. Teaching and learning. It was the shepherd's staff, the shepherd's hook. And because it had a hook, the shepherd, when he saw his sheep going astray, he would hold it, the straight end in this hand, and he would use the hook to put around the sheep's neck to bring the sheep out of danger, to bring it out of danger. So in that sense, the sheep was learning where not to go. The wolves are in that direction, don't go in that direction. And the shepherd would have to pull it by the hook back into the right direction. Once the sheep was in the correct direction, he turned the hook around and he'd hold the hook end in his hand, and the straight end he would use as a pointer in the right direction. That means that the sheep was now, it learned where not to go, and now it's being taught where to go. In the modern day schools, they have what's called a pointer when they teach at the blackboard. They don't have the hook on it. They just have the pointer, and they point at words on the blackboard, point at letters, say A, say B, So they have that same idea in the pointer, but it's just that the old shepherds had a hook just in case the animal started going in the wrong direction. They took the hook off by the time that thing got to public school. And what they used to do when I was in grade school, fortunately, I just missed this particular period. My older brother got it though. See, the teacher would teach you with the pointy end, but if you did something wrong and you need to learn not what to do, he would take that stick and he'd hit you on the knuckles. You remember that? Don't stop acting like that. You got the wrong answer. Sometimes if you got the wrong answer, he'd slap you. They do this in some Muslim countries too, to teach them how to learn the Quran, right? Oh, what, how terrible that is.
Yeah,
what in the world would make me want to learn this book if I have to go through this kind of pain to learn it?
Yeah, true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's a misery.
Yeah. So we are actually introducing, Athar, a brand new way of learning Quranic Arabic. And that's why I have to move this slow and talk this slow sometimes, because I'm practicing the same lesson that I just taught your sons, and that is, don't just say everything that comes to your brain, because everybody can't handle it. So I have to really measure out what I teach in the public, that goes into the public. I have to really measure it out, because my ideas race so fast in this brain. And maybe when I die, I'll donate my brain to science or something. Because I know it's going at the speed of light, but that's a joke. But we have to learn Arabic going back to the way the first people learned language. And Allah actually has a term in the Quran for those first people. He calls them ulul albab. I know you know that one. See,
yeah.
Ulul albab, and the ul is from aul, right? Original or first. So it's really talking about the first people.
Oh, I thought it means people of wisdom. Okay.
Nope. That's the way that they translate it as people of understanding. No, actually, they do worse. They go men of understanding. They say men of understanding. These guys, these wily chauvinists translate. Well, that was their culture. That's how they grew up.
Yeah.
But no, it has nothing to do with men of understanding. Understanding is a different word. It's not fahim and these other words that you can say, okay, that means understanding, or hikmah. We know the words for understanding and wisdom. That's not what that's saying. That says ulul albab, and the albab part comes from lub, al-lub, which they translate as the heart. So ulul albab would literally translate as people of the original heart. Now, what's interesting about that phrase is that science today is coming into a whole new appreciation for what the heart actually is.
Yeah, I mean, if you keep you keep talking, and I'll have many questions. And
yeah, alhamdulillah. That's what it's designed to do, to bring that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you later on for sure, inshallah, about also this, because a few days back I was just thinking, scientifically, the function of a heart is to pump the blood from one one
Yeah.
organ to another.
Yeah.
So, but the Quran is somehow, the way I understood it, it's giving a much larger picture, and its function is not limited to just pumping of a blood.
Not at
And
all.
how
Not at
how,
all.
how can it? Anyways, this is a lot more.
Yeah. I mean, if that were the case, when Allah says that their hearts are covered, you know,
Yeah.
what is that? You know, where's that taking place at? You know, that their hearts are blinded, you know, that, how is the heart blind? You know, so it's not talking about the physical heart at all. It's talking about the metaphysical and the metaphorical heart. And the word qalb in and of itself doesn't just mean heart, like we think about the heart in the middle of our chest. It's really dealing more with the intellect.
So the mindset or the psyche or the think tank.
Yes, yes.
Uh,
That's qalb. Now look at qalb and then look at lub. Both of them are translated as heart. But lub is actually the sound of the blood as it pumps. Lub, lub. That's where they got it, according to their scholars. They say that's how they came up with the word lub. I don't know, but this is what they say, right? Qalb is different because it has the lam and the bait, like lub. But at the beginning, this is what I mean by how words develop. At the beginning, somebody placed a qaf. So it's qaf, lam, bait, instead of just lam, bait, bait.
So the Quran was revealed on the qalb of Prophet Muhammad. Is means it's basically the like a something like in a modern term, like something downloaded and then executed, like a
That's a great way to explain it. Yeah. When you think about how you download information into a computer,
right,
that's exactly the process, but on high.
right. And that's what we probably don't know, the exact process, right?
Well, not yet. But we can know it because we know how to build a computer. We know how to download information into a computer to make the computer work successfully. So we have to follow that same route. Somebody knows how to do it because you wouldn't have been able to build a computer if you didn't know the process. And see, the thing is, this word khalaq, khalaqa al-insana min alaq. They're so used to translating it as created. Khalaqa, he created. And it makes the child mind in most of us just think that, you know, Allah just picked up some material and started building Adam, you know, putting his head on and his arms. And that's not what it means. Khalaq, if we were to put it into modern day parlance, would mean he programmed a thing. All biological forms are programmed. DNA now we're talking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're all programmed.
Yeah.
And we have programs that we can change. We can augment it. We can take away from it. We can diminish its power.
And few can't be changed.
No.
Right. Like right now, as far as I know, I don't know what the new technology says, but to date information that I have is that the DNA structure doesn't change to date, or maybe it can be changed. I don't know.
Well, it's not that it can be changed. It can be influenced. The basic structure, as far as science knows, can't be undone. But how it is influenced.
So that's the main khalaq.
Yes, how it is programmed. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
You can take the same robot and put a different program, install a different operating system in the computer or in the robot. It'll be the same outer structure, but it's going to operate differently. It's going to do different things according to the program. When they gave us the televisions, they called those programs, didn't they? Television programs, right?
Yeah.
And now they give us these big screen TVs. They call them plasma screens. But plasma has to do with blood, does it?
Right.
So what see now now you're talking science now. Why are they messing with the blood? Look at what Allah says now. Look. In the making of his Khalifa, it says that the angels asked Allah a question. Are you going to make one who's going to cause mischief and shed the blood? See, we think it's just talking about some few thousand-year-old event or something, and that is talking about some physical shedding of some physical blood, and it has nothing to do with that. You have to look at how these concepts are being employed in the modern day, because the Quran keeps advancing its wisdom as humans come into more and more enlightenment. Allah doesn't, everything that's in the Quran will be there forever. But our understanding of it as a download is what keeps being upgraded, like we upgrade our computers and the memory in our computers and the operating system in our computers.
Yeah, and the words will fit in based on the new
Yes.
circumstances. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Right.
They'll
Right.
slide right into the socket, right into the pocket. Yeah. And so what we know today, or let's say what we knew 100 years ago about certain scientific processes, how many new things have we learned today to say, I just read an article to my class a couple of days ago that said that stars are born out of, how did we put that? Brain's a little tired right now. That they're born out of seeds, cosmic seeds. Now, this is something that ancient India introduced to the world, the cosmic seed. And Western science was saying, cosmic seed, this is born out of a big bang,
Yeah.
But there's nothing in science that indicates that life comes here through the process of a singular big bang.
Yeah.
If life begins with a bang, it would be a series of smaller bangs.
Yeah, it's processes of
Yeah.
evolution. Yeah.
Look at the male now. Look, in order for the male to impregnate a female, it's through a series of smaller bangs. We call them ejaculations. There's not one big bang. See, but it's a series of, and now this article is saying that the universe itself, and especially the star formations, are born out of cosmic seeds that germinate, that are actually born like life forms are born. If you go onto YouTube and you look at, I think I sent it to you. I was talking on the so-called abbreviated letters, and I'm dealing with the letter Ra, but I think I read that article in that, I think it's like a 1 hour YouTube thing. You would have gotten it maybe 2 days ago or something like that. So check your email.
Sure.
And you'll find a more detailed explanation for what I'm talking about now. But the point is that science is growing, insight is growing, and as science in the world becomes more and more expanded, its ability to accommodate wider and more significant meanings in the Quran becomes also widened. So what Muslims knew about the Quran 50 years ago will be quite different today. Same words, but because we are coming into more scientific enlightenment, it augments our understanding of what science is saying, and sometimes it corrects what science has been saying.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I'm giving some task to myself that I'm gonna now make the meaning of the word in the same pattern that you just mentioned.
Yes.
For the word, and I'm gonna text you, or I'll let
Great.
you.
I can't wait to hear from
what
you.
I come up with. I don't want you to tell me, but
that's why I haven't told you, because I know you. I know you enough to know that you like discovery. Yeah. Because there's dignity in that. There's dignity in you just being given some of the tools, and then taking them and working them yourselves. That's what NuNETICS is all about. NuNETICS is not about translating the Quran.
Yeah.
Like, if you said it this way, then it has to be that. No, you might discover something bigger and better than what I discovered, even as a meaning for the letters. So I'm just giving you just little pointers and hints and clues, really. If I say that letters in the Arabic language are to be found as parts of the human body, and I tell you that Aleph means the spine, I haven't told you everything about that letter. You have to take the responsibility to go study the spine and then apply what you learned about the spine to that letter. And now you're going to come out with a big and broader meaning for Amana, which has Aleph at the beginning of it.
Yeah.
See, for me, it just means support, that which upholds the structure, like the spine upholds the body. See, but how many other connections are there to the spine? We haven't even talked about the spinal cord. We haven't even spoken about the fluids that run up and down the spine that are essential for life, right? For enlightenment, even when that fluid reaches the pineal and all of that. We haven't even spoken about that part of the spine.
And it has the connection with the words too. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's the journey we're on, my friend.
Yeah, and I'll call you my brother after once you told my kids about the meaning of the brother.
Yes.
I would rather prefer to call you brother.
Absolutely. Yeah,
All
for
right.
sure. For sure.
All right. Thank you, brother. Thank you very
You're
much.
very, very welcome.
Talk to you again very soon.
All right.
Take
Inshallah.
care.
Thank you for being with me.
Thank you for here.
All right.
Bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.